Every week, millions of people push a shopping cart through a supermarket without giving it a second thought. They grab milk, bread, eggs, cereal, frozen food, and head to the checkout. £100 or $100 disappears from their bank account in a matter of seconds. To most people, it looks like one of the safest businesses on earth. After all, people can stop buying luxury cars. They can cancel streaming subscriptions. They can postpone holidays, but they can never stop buying food. So owning a supermarket should be a guaranteed path to becoming wealthy. Right? Well, not exactly. Here's something that surprises almost everyone. The average supermarket generates tens of millions in annual revenue. Some stores process thousands of customers every single day. Their parking lots are full from morning until night, and their checkout lanes rarely stop moving. Yet despite all of that activity, many supermarkets keep less than 2 pennies out of every pound or dollar customers spend. In other words, a customer might spend $100 on groceries, while the supermarket owner earns less than $2 in actual profit. So, where does the other 90 ALAR go? That question reveals the real secret of the supermarket business, because supermarkets aren't really retail businesses. They're logistics businesses disguised as retail. They're giant machines designed to move thousands of perishable products through a building every single day before those products expire, get stolen, or become worthless. The companies that understand this survive. The ones that don't eventually disappear. And by the end of this documentary, you'll never look at a supermarket the same way again. The first illusion begins the moment you walk through the automatic doors. Bright lighting, perfectly stacked shelves, fresh fruit arranged like artwork, the smell of warm bread drifting from the bakery. Everything is carefully designed to make the business feel abundant. But behind that polished appearance lies one of the toughest industries in the world. A typical supermarket stocks somewhere between 30,000 and 40,000 different products. Every single item has its own supplier, its own delivery schedule, its own expiry date, its own storage temperature, and its own profit margin. Managing that amount of inventory isn't just difficult. It's a daily race against time. Fresh vegetables start losing value the moment they arrive. Milk has only a limited shelf life. Meat requires strict refrigeration. Frozen products cannot be allowed to thaw. Even packaged food can expire before it's sold. The supermarket doesn't simply sell food. It manages thousands of tiny financial decisions every single day. One mistake multiplied across thousands of products quickly becomes thousands of pounds in losses, and that's before a single customer even walks inside. Most people assume supermarkets make money by buying products cheaply and selling them at huge markups. That's how many retail businesses work. But supermarkets operate very differently. Industry data shows that the average supermarket keeps only around 1 to 3% as net profit after paying every expense. Imagine a supermarket generating around $37 million in annual sales. That sounds enormous. But after paying suppliers, employees, rent, electricity, insurance, maintenance, technology, and countless other operating costs, the business may keep only around $600,000 to $700,000. For a business handling millions in revenue, that's an incredibly thin margin. One unexpected problem, one bad season, or one increase in operating costs can erase an entire year's profit. That's why supermarket owners don't obsess over high markups. They obsess over efficiency. Every shelf, every employee, every delivery, every minute, everything has to work almost perfectly. But before a supermarket can even worry about making money, there's another challenge, opening one. Many people imagine renting a building, filling it with products and opening the doors. The reality is far more expensive. A small neighborhood grocery store might cost around $100,000 to launch, but a genuine full-scale supermarket is a completely different investment. Depending on the location and size, opening one can cost several million pounds. Land or commercial property comes first, then construction or renovation, then refrigeration systems that operate 24 hours a day, walk-in coolers, freezers, display cases, backup generators, security systems, point-of-sale technology, storage equipment, shopping carts, bakery equipment, deli counters, shelving, lighting, parking. And finally, the inventory itself. Before opening day, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of products have to be sitting on the shelves. Customers won't shop in a half-empty supermarket. The store has to look fully stocked from day one, and all of that money is invested before the first sale is ever made. Then comes the real challenge, keeping the supermarket alive. The biggest expense isn't rent. It isn't electricity. It isn't even wages. It's the products themselves. In most supermarkets, the cost of goods sold consumes around 65 to 75% of every sale. That means if a customer spends $100, roughly $70 may already belong to suppliers. Only the remaining amount is left to cover every other expense. Then come employee wages. A modern supermarket needs cashiers, stock clerks, department managers, cleaners, security, bakery staff, butchers, warehouse workers, and customer service employees. Hundreds of hours of labor are required every single day. Unfortunately, grocery retail also experiences one of the highest employee turnover rates in retail. New staff constantly need hiring. Training never really ends. Experienced workers leave. New ones arrive. And every replacement costs both time and money. While customers notice stocked shelves, owners notice staffing costs, electricity creates another hidden challenge. Most commercial buildings sleep at night. Supermarkets don't. Refrigeration systems operate every minute of every day. If they stop, thousands of pounds worth of food can be destroyed within hours. Lighting, air conditioning, freezers, bakery ovens, computers, checkout systems, everything depends on continuous power. For many supermarkets, energy becomes one of the largest operating expenses throughout the year. Customers rarely think about it. Owners think about it every month. Then comes the invisible expense that quietly destroys profits. Shrinkage. Most shoppers have never heard the word. Inside the industry, it's one of the most feared numbers. Shrinkage simply means inventory that disappears before it can be sold. Sometimes it's shoplifting, sometimes employee theft, sometimes damaged products, sometimes spoiled food, sometimes administrative mistakes. Whatever the reason, the result is identical. The supermarket paid for products that never generated revenue. Industry estimates suggest shrinkage typically costs supermarkets somewhere between 1.5 and 3% of total sales. That sounds manageable until you remember the average supermarket only earns around 1 to 3% profit. A business earning 2% profit cannot afford to lose 2% of its inventory. That's the difference between making money and losing money. Fresh produce suffers the most. Fruit and vegetables naturally spoil. Bananas ripen too quickly. Leafy greens wilt. Berries become unsellable within days. Every morning, employees remove products customers will never see. Not because they're unsafe, but because customers expect perfection. A single bruised apple often stays on the shelf, several bruised apples, and customers stop trusting the entire display. So supermarkets throw away enormous amounts of perfectly edible food every year. Not because they want to, because customer psychology demands it. And psychology drives almost everything inside a supermarket. Most shoppers believe they choose their own path. In reality, the building quietly guides almost every decision they make. Most shoppers believe they decide what to buy the moment they walk through the entrance. The truth is, supermarkets begin influencing those decisions long before a product ever reaches the shopping cart. Nothing inside the building is random. The entrance, the aisles, the lighting, the music, even the smell of freshly baked bread, everything is carefully designed to keep customers inside just a little longer, because time is one of the supermarket's most valuable assets. Research has consistently shown that the longer shoppers stay inside a store, the more they tend to spend. That's why many supermarkets place flowers, fresh fruit, and colorful vegetables near the entrance. Those products aren't there simply because they're fresh. They're there because they create an immediate impression of quality. Your brain begins judging the entire supermarket within seconds. If the produce looks fresh, customers naturally assume the meat, dairy, and bakery are equally fresh. It's a psychological shortcut, and supermarkets know exactly how to use it. Then there's the layout. Have you ever noticed that milk, eggs, and bread are almost never near the entrance? Those are products nearly everyone needs. If supermarkets placed them by the front door, customers would grab what they came for and leave. Instead, they're usually positioned near the back of the store. To reach them, shoppers must walk past dozens of other aisles filled with snacks, drinks, frozen food, and special offers. Every extra step creates another opportunity for an unplanned purchase. This is known as impulse buying, and it quietly generates billions every year. The checkout area works the same way. After spending 30 or 40 minutes shopping, customers are mentally tired. They're waiting in line. Their attention isn't focused anymore. That's exactly why chocolates, chewing gum, soft drinks, and magazines surround the checkout lanes. These aren't expensive purchases. They're emotional purchases. A 2 chocolate bar doesn't seem significant when the shopping bill already totals $120. But multiply that decision by thousands of customers every week, and those tiny purchases become a major source of revenue. Shelf placement follows the same principle. Products positioned at eye level consistently sell better than identical products placed near the floor. Children's cereals are often placed at a child's eye level. Premium brands compete fiercely for the most visible shelf space. In many cases, manufacturers actually pay supermarkets to place their products in these prime locations. That means shelf space itself has become a business. The supermarket isn't just selling products. Sometimes it's selling visibility. But perhaps the smartest strategy of all involves products that barely make any money. Inside the industry, they're known as loss leaders. Take milk, for example. Many supermarkets sell milk at extremely competitive prices. Sometimes the profit is so small it's almost insignificant. Why would any business willingly reduce its profits? Because milk isn't the real product. The customer is. Once shoppers enter the store for milk, very few leave with only milk. They pick up bread, coffee, biscuits, frozen pizza, soft drinks, cleaning supplies. The supermarket may earn almost nothing from the milk itself, but it profits from everything else added to the trolley. Another strategy has become even more important over the last decade: private label products. Walk through almost any supermarket today, and you'll notice shelves filled with products carrying the supermarket's own brand: pasta, rice, chocolate, breakfast, cereal, coffee, even frozen meals. Many shoppers assume these products are lower quality simply because they're cheaper. In reality, that's often far from the truth. Many private label products are manufactured in the very same factories that produce famous national brands. The difference isn't always the recipe, it's the marketing. Global brands spend enormous amounts on advertising, sponsorships, and celebrity endorsements. Supermarket brands don't. Without those additional costs, supermarkets can sell similar products at lower prices while keeping healthier profit margins. It's one of the smartest financial decisions they've ever made. Customers save money. The supermarket earns more. Both sides win. But none of these strategies matter if products never arrive on the shelves. Behind every supermarket is an enormous supply chain operating almost 24 hours a day. Every morning, distribution centers dispatch hundreds of trucks carrying fresh fruit, vegetables, meat, dairy products, frozen food, and packaged groceries. Timing is everything. A delayed delivery leaves empty shelves. Ordering too much creates waste. Ordering too little sends customers to competitors. Managing inventory has become one of the most advanced sciences in modern retail. Today, many supermarket chains use artificial intelligence to forecast demand before customers even enter the store. The software analyses weather forecasts, public holidays, local events, historical sales, and seasonal buying patterns. If a heat wave is expected, orders for bottled water, soft drinks, and ice cream automatically increase. If heavy snow is forecast, supermarkets prepare for a surge in demand for bread, milk, and canned food. The goal isn't simply to keep shelves full, it's to have exactly the right amount of stock. Not too much, not too little, because every unsold product reduces profit, and every empty shelf represents a lost sale. Technology has become one of the supermarket industry's greatest weapons. Electronic shelf labels can update thousands of prices within minutes. Self-checkout machines reduce labor costs. Automated warehouses process online orders faster than human workers ever could. Artificial intelligence continues learning from millions of shopping habits every single day. Yet despite all this technology, despite billions invested in automation, and despite decades of experience, some of the biggest supermarket companies in history still failed. Companies that once seemed impossible to defeat eventually disappeared. So what went wrong? How can a supermarket empire serving millions of customers suddenly collapse? That's where the biggest secret of the supermarket business begins. The companies that dominate the supermarket industry today understand one thing better than anyone else. Selling groceries is no longer enough. They have to build an ecosystem. Take Walmart. With thousands of stores around the world, Walmart has become one of the largest retailers in human history. But its success isn't simply about having bigger buildings or lower prices. It's about scale. Walmart buys products in such enormous quantities that suppliers often give the company prices smaller competitors could never negotiate. Imagine ordering 10 boxes of cereal. Now imagine ordering 10 million. The price changes dramatically. The purchasing power allows Walmart to sell products for less while still protecting its already thin profit margins. It's a strategy built on volume. Instead of making huge profits from each customer, Walmart earns a tiny amount from millions of customers every single day. Costco chose a completely different path. Walk into a Costco warehouse and you'll notice something unusual. The shelves are simple, products are stacked on pallets, decorations are minimal, there are fewer brands than in a traditional supermarket. None of that is an accident. Costco removes almost everything that doesn't directly help sell products. Even more surprising is how the company makes a large portion of its profit: membership fees. Millions of customers willingly pay every year just for the right to shop there. That predictable income allows Costco to keep product markups remarkably low, building customer trust and encouraging larger shopping trips. Customers feel like they're getting wholesale prices. Costco earns recurring revenue before a single product is sold. Then there's Aldi, perhaps the greatest lesson in efficiency the supermarket industry has ever seen. At first glance, Aldi feels almost too simple. Fewer products, smaller stores, products displayed in their original shipping boxes. Customers pack their own groceries. Shopping trolleys require a refundable coin. Many people think these choices are simply part of Aldi's identity. They're not. Every single one reduces operating costs. Keeping fewer products simplifies inventory. Displaying goods in shipping cartons saves employee hours. Charging for carrier bags reduces waste. Even the coin-operated trolley system dramatically reduces the number of abandoned trolleys employees have to collect. Individually, each decision seems insignificant. Together, they save millions every year. Different supermarkets, different strategies. Yet every successful company is chasing the same goal: efficiency. Because in this business, every second saved, every product protected, every unnecessary cost removed creates an advantage. But history has proven that even the smartest companies cannot afford to become comfortable. Earlier, we mentioned A&P. For decades, it was the undisputed king of American grocery retail. At one point, it operated more than 15,000 stores and served millions of loyal customers. Many believed its dominance would last forever, but success created overconfidence. While competitors modernized stores, embraced larger supermarket formats, and invested in better logistics, A&P was slow to adapt. Customers gradually found better shopping experiences elsewhere. Sales declined, costs continued rising, debt increased. And eventually, one of the largest supermarket companies in history collapsed. Not because people stopped buying food, but because people stopped buying food from them. The lesson was brutal. No supermarket is too big to fail. Today, that warning echoes throughout the entire industry. Amazon entered grocery retail. Online ordering exploded. Home delivery became normal. Customers who once wandered through supermarket aisles now order dinner from a mobile phone while sitting on the sofa. For traditional supermarkets, this created an entirely new problem. A customer shopping inside the store performs the work for free. They walk the aisles. They choose every product. They carry the trolley. They queue at the checkout. Online orders change everything. Now supermarket employees must pick every item, package every order, maintain cold storage, coordinate deliveries, handle substitutions when products are unavailable. Suddenly, a business already operating on razor-thin margins becomes even more expensive. That's why many supermarket chains invested billions in automated fulfillment centers, warehouses where robots move shelves instead of people. Artificial intelligence predicts demand before orders are placed. Computer vision monitors inventory in real time. Machine learning identifies buying patterns invisible to human managers. The supermarket of the future may look familiar to customers, but behind the scenes, it increasingly resembles a technology company. Even sustainability has become a business strategy. Every year, millions of tons of food are wasted around the world. For supermarkets, food waste isn't just an environmental problem, it's lost profit. Chains now use dynamic pricing to reduce products approaching their expiry dates. Some donate surplus food to charities. Others transform unsold ingredients into prepared meals. Artificial intelligence helps predict exactly how much fresh food should be ordered to reduce unnecessary waste. The less food thrown away, the healthier the business becomes. Inflation has created another challenge. As food prices rise, customers become more selective. Premium brands lose sales. Private label products become more attractive. Families compare prices more carefully than ever before. One supermarket visit can determine where they shop for months. That means trust has never been more valuable. If customers believe one supermarket consistently offers better prices, fresher products, or a better experience, they'll often remain loyal. Not because of advertising, but because of habit. And habits are incredibly difficult to break. So the next time you push a shopping trolley through a supermarket, look beyond the colorful packaging and neatly organized shelves. Every aisle represents thousands of business decisions. Every product has traveled through an extraordinary supply chain. Every discounted item has been carefully calculated. Every shelf has been arranged with purpose. What feels like a simple shopping trip is actually the final stage of one of the most complex business operations ever created. A business where millions of products move every day, where thousands of employees work around the clock, where technology quietly predicts tomorrow's demand before today's customers have even finished shopping, and where earning just one extra penny from every pound spent can mean the difference between success and bankruptcy. That's why supermarkets aren't really in the business of selling food. Food is simply the product you take home. The real business is mastering logistics, controlling inventory, understanding human psychology, reducing waste, using technology, and delivering the right product to the right customer at exactly the right moment, while making just enough profit to survive another day. Because behind every loaf of bread, every carton of milk, every apple, and every checkout receipt is a business so complex that most shoppers never even realize it exists. And perhaps that's the greatest secret of all. The most successful supermarket is the one whose customers never notice the incredible machine working silently behind every single purchase. That's the secret business of supermarkets.